Good evening and welcome to Schnozzcast episode 131 for Friday, July 9th, 2021. This is Bob. I'm joined by my co-host Nick Bader and Todd Dillon. We're going to get through a little bit of 90-second sports today with maybe a little booze news, some 100 questions, and gentleman's agreement in the second half, along with pick of the week and maybe a visit from Mr. Cory who is performing his boyfriend duties and accompanying his better half to a wedding today. So, welcome everybody. If you're new to the podcast, thanks for joining us. If you are returning, we appreciate your patronage and encourage you to join us every week. You can find us here on social media on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, Stitcher, or anywhere else where you can get a podcast. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Schnozzcast.
Schnozzcast.
You can also email us if you'd rather that your words went through the ether rather than your voice at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us on the Shocker line at 618-SHOCKER.
Shocker. Shock the boys with your questions.
Yes, sir.
Shock
Todd Dillon.
What is up?
How are you, gentlemen? Don't everybody answer at once.
I mean, you said Todd first, so
I did say Todd first.
I am doing swimmingly. It's good to be back, man. I missed you guys.
We missed you too, buddy. It was so last weekend we were finishing up. We're the tail end of our 8-day trip out to the Tawas area in Michigan.
Been there.
Yeah, they all had heard of you. Anyway, so they we brought all of the equipment. Mm-hmm. Well, we brought mics, we brought all the cables. Cory was, I'm like, look, dude, I'm not bringing that. I'm not bringing our expensive mixer that we sunk our Schnozzcast fortune into up to the beach again with all that sand, because he wanted to do it. It was his lifelong dream to do a podcast from the beach in the sand. So with this in mind, he, I think, sweet-talked, or rather probably strong-armed Joe into using his mixer to bring with us. Mm-hmm. And I said, Nick, man, those mic stands, first of all, we need a table to put them on, and secondly, they're like 90 pounds a piece. So
it's like a small child.
Yeah, and I'm like, we did it last summer. I don't want to do it again. So he went out to Lowe's and bought some PVC piping and fashioned these cool mic stands. It's basically just a PVC pipe that you can jam in the sand, and he had a little holder on the end of it to thread the mic through, and it was awesome. So very lightweight, not a whole lot of work to bring all that stuff in, and we had made it on an 8-day trip. We had made it probably 6 days in before, we were making plans to go the next day out in the river and go kayaking for like a last day. I think this was, we're leaving on Saturday.
Yeah, we left on the 25th.
Yeah, leave it on Saturday. So like Friday, we're going to go one last day in the river. The weather should be nice. So this was like Thursday morning. We're all sitting on the beach by the, just look at the waves, just having a good time, having drinks. And I'm like, man, if we're going to do this podcast, we've already been here 6 days. If we don't do it today, it's not going to be done. And I don't have a problem if we don't do it. I don't think anybody would have an issue if we just skipped a week.
And people would be relieved.
Right. I think a huzzah would go up from the internet.
Oh my God, these schnoz guys. It's enough already with the cast. No one's catching on.
Yeah, but Cory was sitting in his chair, and I could just see him go, yeah, well, okay. And it's a slow get up, and then now it starts the process where you're like, okay, we got about an hour and a half of him shuffling back and forth from the beach to the cabin and getting all the things he wants and setting up. And we missed Todd because we knew that we're dealing with the Wi-Fi it's like a motel, rows of cabins on each side, little common area in between. And just to actually stream on Facebook was a challenge for Cory to get set up. And I'm like, there's no way we're going to be able to bring Todd in, which sucked because, Todd,
you said you didn't want him in.
No,
that's what I thought.
Oh.
That's Todd Vandekamp. I didn't want Todd Vandekamp.
That's right. You said White Todd.
White Todd.
I don't want White Todd.
Yeah, but Black Todd. I want Black Todd there. And I was very, very upset that I couldn't have Black Todd there. But I feel like I should just keep saying Black Todd.
Black Todd.
Black Todd. So I'm like, we can't do it, but so either we skip it or we just do it. And we weren't really sure how the stream was going to work. We were thinking it was going to be kind of laggy and maybe no one can hear us because there's all the waves are crashing and the wind was like crazy blowing. We picked the worst day to do it.
No, it was horrible. We were right on the water. Our feet were in the sand.
Yeah,
exactly.
We were drinking.
It was like the seventh circle of hell.
Sun was out. The wind was blowing. It was breezy. We were next to a fire. It sucked.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
So sorry, guys.
But we're like, well, look, let's just give it a shot. And if it doesn't turn out, then we'll just delete it from Facebook. It'll be like it never happened, even though the internet is forever. But so it seemed to work out okay. I watched a little bit back, again, but I'm a little biased. I'm not an audience member, so I watched it and I'm like, oh, those guys look like they're pretty sharp. They know what they're doing. I'm not like our normal fan where they're like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, we don't understand it.
Yeah, I'd rather watch sports.
It's like when Seinfeld first came out. People don't understand the concept of the show.
Right.
Like, well, what is your topic?
Well, the only difference is that eventually they got it. He became a massive superstar, and that has not happened yet.
No, it took him 10 years.
Holy balls! If we're here 10 years from now.
The next episode of the Schnozzcast, episode 1142.
Nice. We'll have to have a Corvette giveaway.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We'd had to take us 10 years to save up for that, so we might as well start now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we wanted to make sure that we did something. We thought, something. It was Cory's dream. He was like, and so we're out on the beach, and Cory, when Cory's on the beach, help me out here, Nick. When Cory's on the beach, he is in his element. It was like he was born in the sand, and he wants to stay in the sand and never leave.
Yeah, I've often had the school of thought that you can take Cory to Iosco County, but you can't take Iosco County out of Cory.
Yeah.
He just almost can't be removed, and so much to the effect that he once being. I mean, Cory is. I'm not sure if he loves the podcast per se so much, because he does. Excuse me, but he loves the dance of the podcast. And I say that in a sense that he loves that he can play with all his gadgets, and he loves that he's needed, and he loves that there are certain things he only has the key to, that he can unlock, and people are waiting on him. They're depending on him.
Well, that's the part he loves the most.
He does.
You're waiting for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yep, I'm going to move. There's no rush.
Right.
And
he's a tortoise.
But knowing that...
He's a tortoise munching on quaaludes in the intensified gravity of the planet Jupiter.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But knowing that, and then realizing that we slightly still had to motivate him to do the podcast. So that's how much his love is for Iosco County.
Yeah. So we're sitting down there trying to get ready, and Nick had festooned himself in his finest, holiday weekend, 4th of July weekend podcast garb, and he had this fantabulous downriver hat that he wore that was like, was it a Bud Light or Busch Light?
Oh, it was worse. It was
Beast? Was it Milwaukee's best?
No, it was Busch Light.
Busch
Light.
Light.
You're right. Yep.
And it was like a
Shrub
cowboy. What's that, Todd?
Shrub Light.
Yeah, it was a Shrub Light box hat. So it was literally made. I mean, it was perfect, because I've always seen like the beer box cowboy hats where they make them, and I'm like, dude, the second it rains, that's gonna get fucked up. And I've never really. I mean, they're cool, but cool to maybe have inside. I have a couple cowboy hats that come out on some legendary nights, but I was literally purchasing like some provisions or accoutrement for the trip in a Walmart that I never go into, and there were 2 of these. Surprisingly, Busch Light cowboy hats made of cardboard.
We stocked 2. Yeah. Still got 2 in stock.
Cardboard.
Can't get rid of them.
In Walmart. So I grabbed that,
mm-hmm.
and as soon as I went to my truck, I sprayed the inside of it with so much sanitizer that it started to wilt a little bit.
Because cardboard absorbs.
Yeah, I'm
it's
like,
not a moisture.
Do you understand how many Walmartians probably put this on their fucking head?
Did you say Walmartians?
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
So I
now have the title for the episode.
I thought they were Walmartians.
Walmartians.
Yes, that's better.
Just thinking that.
That's better. But
Way to go, Todd.
But I bought that. It was $9.99.
You paid way too much.
Oh God!
Are you out of your mind?
I could make my own.
You paid like $7.99 too much.
I got a 12-pack, and that comes with the cardboard.
Well, you want your finest hats to be made of cardboard. That's the
so
material.
yeah. So I had that and a red, white, and blue shirt. But anyhow, so
we were sitting there and we had all this equipment around, and Cory's got, as Cory is wont to do, he's got wherever he's sitting, there's always like at least 2 tables so he can have all of his gear, his vape, his chew, his drink holder, his mixer, just all sorts of shit that you probably don't need in the beach, but he wants to be like, all of it needs to be within reach at all times.
Yeah, the Apollo mission had less things going on around it than what Cory had on a beach.
We had Nick's PVC mic stand stuck in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting in chairs. We're all looking like we're waiting for something. And there's people. We're not the only ones in this complex, and so they're sitting there, sort of in the central area of the complex, having their little family picnics and talks and whatever not. And this lady comes up.
So you have to, just to paint a picture, you have to imagine that this complex was basically like a U shape, and the open end of the U was pretty much facing the water.
Yeah.
So the U was cabins.
Yep.
So all your cabins, like hotel rooms, like in a small motel, you come out of your cabin, they're all connected in this U, and by default, if you came out in the common area or the grassy knoll in between, you would be staring out at the water.
Right.
So by default, you're looking at the water when you come out, and that's kind of where everyone gravitates.
Yeah,
and that's where we
everybody
were,
did.
and that's where we were.
And so we're down there in everybody's like focal point of view when they come out of the cabin, sitting there in like a big semicircle. And this lady comes rolling down the sand, and she's like, "Hey, what you guys doing? When's the music going to start?" She thought we were a band, and we were just going to sit there and like strum our acoustic guitars on the beach.
Todd, you have to envision, we had microphone equipment going everywhere. We had a giant speaker. We had chairs,
cameras,
we had tables,
GoPros,
we had cameras and GoPros set up. So we were literally
coolers and
setting all this
chairs,
setting all this up, unbeknownst to us, because we want the water as our backdrop.
Right.
So this U shape of like a vacuum of people that are forced to look at us. We're gonna look at you. So
Right.
we're like sitting with all this equipment facing like the courtyard.
Yep.
So after that comment, I'm like, yeah, we look like idiots. We look like we're setting a stage up, and it's close to the 4th of July, and I've got a big red, white, and blue cowboy hat on. And so continue, yeah.
Continue. Nick explains like, no, we're doing a podcast. We're not a band. And she's like, "Oh, is it a secret podcast? Are you an undercover cowboy?"
Yeah, I did. That's funny. I didn't really care for that comment, but
but she took that and ran with it, and I ended up, because we were still waiting for Cory to get all set up, ended up walking back with her to her picnic table, and I got her and her friend all hooked up to follow the Schnozzcast. And for all I know, she may be listening tonight.
Careless Whisper started playing. And, yeah. Hey,
I'm never
so
gonna dance again.
how long are you here? I did notice that was when Lori was face down on the beach.
No.
Face down?
No, that was not.
Yeah, it was, because it was during the podcast. She was like, "I'm gonna let you guys do your thing."
Oh, you mean face down watching the podcast on her phone on a beach blanket, not
Yes.
face down.
Oh, I thought you meant
Out
face
of
down
commission.
drunk.
No,
Right.
no. She was face down.
Yeah.
laying down on her
She's
own
laying
volition.
on her. Let's stop saying face down. Let's say she's laying on her belly on the blanket,
Sounds like
watching the podcast on the phone. Sounds better than face down.
Okay.
Face down, ass
Stomach down. I mean, I don't know. But the funny thing is so now it's in our minds, because Todd, you have to imagine now we're all set up. So there's wires and everything going through the sand, and we are literally at this funnel, the end of this funnel, which is the water, and we have our backs against the water with all these mics and special equipment set up. I'm in a red, white, and blue cowboy hat, and we're facing
cutting not a quiet figure.
Yeah,
he's like all like he's sucking in all the attention from the entire complex.
You look at us and we're testing our mics and does this work? And we're okay, someone's got headphones. So yeah, why wouldn't they think that we're putting on a summer fucking concert? And lo and behold, slowly it went from about 10 people in the courtyard to about 40.
Yeah.
Slowly coming out of their complexes and like sitting down facing us, and I'm like, no, no.
Is this the ConAgra summer concert series?
This is not a concert. No. I even told Bob, I'm like, my fear is that I'm the only one that slightly has a remotely decent voice. Not good by any stretch.
Thanks.
You've already told me you have not.
There's more than just me in this podcast.
Oh,
You're insulting Todd as well.
Todd was not there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah. And could you imagine? Yeah.
Go down country road. Take me home. Remember the words. Country road.
Like, so between that and Bob, like, if you've seen him dance when he's drunk, like,
dancing and singing are two totally different things, by the way.
But you're like, I will never sing because I am not good.
No, I only get good in my brain when I've had a few drinks.
Yeah.
But it's still
quick
only
question.
In my brain.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Clarifying question.
Did WBKB Channel 11 Tawas show up?
Oh, God, could you imagine? We're here with what appears to be a summer free concert. Guys, I hear you're from downstate. What do you call yourselves?
Undercover cowboy.
Yeah. I told Bob, I'm like, I felt like Uncle Leo, like, when he jumped in front of the PBS telethon and he was like, no, stop the show. Like,
She's on a fixed income.
She's on a fixed income. Like, I felt like doing that because these people kept walking out and they're like, got their bags and their coolers and, they're kind of tousling their child's head and like sit
Get the kids coming out. We're going to watch a concert tonight.
They're setting up lawn chairs and everything. And I'm like, dude, we're going to have to. I told Bob, I said.
People are like peeking out their windows going, I was going to sleep in today, but it looks like there's going to be a concert down on the beach. Kids, wake up.
I'm
you
like,
guys are Tawas
pack
famous.
the cooler.
I whispered to Bob, I said, dude, I know that I'm the only one that even tries to sing in this group, but please don't like turn to me and be like, well, buddy, we can't at all, so you're going to have to do something. Like, please do not do that.
In hindsight, it would have been better if you had sung because the moment that we started recording and we just started talking, that crowd went to like nobody's business.
Oh, yeah. Fold up the chairs. Let's go back inside.
Exactly. Well, I guess that's all of that. I'm not watching people talk on the beach.
But when you think about like the really bad karaoke singers that people will sit around and be like, yeah, like we literally could have just sang our asses off and they probably would have been very appreciative.
I never even thought about that, but you're right. We could have set up like that and just had like a bunch of microphones just stuck in the sand, hooked up to this and had the speaker playing with music and just tell people like, hey, for $5 you can come over here and you can sing your own song in the microphone.
Oh, dude, they would have ate it up.
We would have made a fortune.
Dude, when I come back this summer, we got to do a pop-up podcast somewhere, like either in front of a crack house or somewhere in Warren.
House.
Whoa. Why set your
so we can get a
standards so
crowd?
high?
Why not just do it? Why not do it in front of where the Walmartians go, right in front of the Walmart in downtown?
Exactly, and interview the locals.
Yeah,
but yeah, the podcast itself disappointed a lot of people, but we disappointed a lot of people.
Weekly, we did.
It was a beautiful night.
Yeah,
and it looked like a free summer concert, and I think there were a lot.
It was afternoon. I think we started at like 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It was.
We finished around 4:30.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like it was starting to get evening. I don't know. It was all blur, but
well, that's true. There was some drinking going on.
Yeah, but it was kind of tense because I'm like, fuck, man, these people are expecting a show.
Right.
I'm bummed that no one came down and taunted you guys or threw beer cans at you for not entertaining them.
Well, so we were there for 8 days, and this was the 6th day of 8. And we had a certain reputation at this complex, Todd. We were the guys. So this is can I give a shout out to the name of the place, Paradise Beach?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you just did, so.
It's too late now.
Yeah,
so
really.
The great thing about Paradise Beach is they do ice runs like multiple times a day. So there's a big ice chest in the office, which, It's like $3.50 for a bag of ice, which is a little bit of highway robbery, but it saves you from having to drive anywhere, so it's real convenient. And they chopped the fuck out of some wood, and they had this giant pile of super dry, ready to burn wood that was available for free for anybody who was there all the time. And we went through probably $300 worth of firewood.
Like 15 trees.
Oh my God! They had multiple wheelbarrows that were available for people to go fill it up with logs, come back to the fire, and we would run probably like 10 or 12 times during the night to just go keep getting more wood. And so we had a certain reputation around there as we were the guys also who when someone else took over the only big fire pit that they had, Nick's like, fuck that shit. We're making our own fire pit.
Yep. And
he dug a Boy Scout level fire pit in the beach in the sand with a vent hole and everything.
Yeah, it was an oxygen fed survival fire.
Yeah, and we went through many trees making fires in that beach.
To the effect that I had a couple beers in me and they're like, oh man. Well, the big fire pit with all the chairs around it, someone's already there. I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, what do you want to do? You want to find one of those little tiny Walmart portable ones, which they had. And I'm like, no, we can't get a good fire going in those. They're like, well, what are we going to do? I'm like, I have an idea. And I had just gotten out there, so I just started digging in the sand. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And I remember at one time, Cory's like,
I want to shit all over this, but I think he's going somewhere. I feel like he's going somewhere. It's not going to work, but I think he's going somewhere.
And then we looked over, and some random guy was talking to us. And I think he even said at one point, he's like, "Oh, I was going to walk away, but I kind of want to see how this turns out." And then he looks at me, he's like, "Hey, guy." I said, "Yeah."
It's Undercover Cowboy to you.
Yeah, he's like, "If you get this going." Like, all of a sudden you put the wood in and everything, and then the fire just starts blazing, I'm buying you a shot. I said, he's like, because I watched your friends here for like 25 minutes try to build a fire, he goes, and it just wouldn't work. And I said, oh, it's going to work. And he bought me a shot.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so because of that, we made a lot of friends of these folks who were also staying in the complex because we were the people who... The people who wouldn't let the lack of a fire pit affect them from having a fire on the beach. So,
yeah, there was some finger wagging at certain points too. I think there was a little.
From
they're a little soured sometimes. They had a little couple comments and stuff like some of the
toward us,
like extenuating part of their group because it was like a giant family, and I heard like a couple rassafrassas.
Okay.
But it's to be understood. They thought that they had capitalized on the only fire pit, and it was going to be their family and only their family, and we were going to, because there were really no seats left, and they thought we were just going to go back to our room. And
well, they thought wrong.
We dug a hole in the sand right next to them and had a better fire.
Well, we thought it was a better fire. Whether it was or wasn't didn't matter because we didn't encroach on the fire pit and try to like, hey, you got room? Mind if we hang out with you? We didn't take any of their chairs. In fact, we were very neighborly and said, like, as we brought over like wheelbarrows full of logs, we were like, hey, anything you want, like, help yourself.
We only brought things to hook us up to portable electricity, lighting, our own tables, our own chairs, our own coolers, and a 4-foot light up speaker that we blasted our oppressive music onto the beach.
No, you were the soundtrack of the summer for those people. That's what I think. That's what I'm going when I go to sleep at night. That's what I'm.
But you know what? The only way I was able to lay my head down whilst on vacation, with that speaker is because they didn't fucking listen to music. They had no music playing.
There would have been no music if it wasn't for you. That's what I'm saying. You were the soundtrack of the summer for them.
Yeah, bring your own fucking music if you want to listen.
And you had a good mix of country, rock, old pop songs, 80s shit. It was I don't know how you could have a problem with any of that.
No, I think a lot of it appealed to the age of the crowd as well. So,
but Todd, I'll tell you, Todd, the worst problem the worst part of that weekend was the drive home with all of the traffic. And people would not get out of the way. I don't know about you,
Oh,
Mine wasn't bad. But you know what?
Todd, I tried. I don't know what else I can do here.
I know. It's a nice segue.
Mine was great.
Nick left early. We
did.
left a little bit later than that, so we might have hit that traffic, whatever. But these people who just they don't. It's like they don't know how to drive.
There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah. So have you experienced that recently, Todd?
So I have. So this weekend, while you guys were beaching it up, as you know, we introduced a new puppy into our home, and so we drove down to Oregon City, Oregon, to pick up a puppy, and both on the way there and on the way back, different times, never ceases to amaze me. People loitering in the left lane, and so that is my complaint of the week. I can't figure out where people think that they should be able to hang out in the left-hand lane and go any speed they want. And then when you're behind them and you kind of get up on them and you bright them and say, hey, could you move over? And then they give you the stink eye and they don't get over. And then you zip past them. Then you give them the stink eye on the way past. Yeah. And then a mile up, you run into the next left lane loiterer. I don't understand it. And then there's one person worse than the left lane loiterer. The left lane loiterer, who's kind of the informal policer of how fast you're going to go on the highway. So when you try and pass them on the right, they speed up so you can't go by.
Yes.
What's up with that?
So 2 comments. One, it's actually unlawful for people to do that because left lane is considered a passing lane, at least in Michigan. And there was a big push from the MSP to actually stop drivers. And people were getting very confused and upset and saying, I don't understand. I was doing the speed limit. Why are you stopping me? And the troopers would say,
because you're a douche.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, I wish they would say that. But being as trooperly as they were, they would say, well, sir, ma'am, it's actually unlawful to be in the left-hand lane unless you're actively passing someone. And the reason we're doing a push to enforce this law is because the left lane loitering, which I do like the alliteration, I like that phrase, but the left lane loitering actually causes more accidents.
Absolutely.
Because you have now loss of traffic control. So people are trying to weave in and out of traffic the wrong way that they're supposed to be going, as opposed
Correct.
to staying to the left. Everyone's going to the right. Some people are trying to go to the left. People are tailgating, they're stepping on their brakes, it's causing road rage, and it causes a lot of accidents. So they were, I know, several months back, doing a huge push for that. And then the other comment I was going to give you, which you hit the nail on the head with traffic control. So I had a woman literally today, and this kind of stuff pisses me off as well. I was locked into that funnel where you've got 2 slow-moving semis in the right 2 lanes, and the left lane is open. So there's a lot of people that you can tell their personality based on how they drive. And I had this woman going 68 in a 70 in the left-hand lane. So she was literally keeping up with the semis. Well, what does that do? Well, of course, it stops the flow of traffic. So you've basically got these 2 walls to your right, so you can't even unlawfully pass on the right to get around this woman that is clearly a moron. So you have to sit behind her, and it's a control thing. She knows she's in control. And so I did a test, and I thought, okay, if this woman is not a control freak, maybe she's just an idiot, maybe she's old, as soon as this semi clears, I'll attempt to go around her. So a couple, maybe 5 minutes went by, and the semi that she was using as part of her funnel to control traffic suddenly merged to the right. So there was an open lane, and I was directly behind her. And I not like, step on the gas and flip her off or anything. I just slowly watched my speedometer. So she was going 68, and I get in the right-hand lane, and I clocked her. To overtake her vehicle, I had to go 83.
Yep.
Because as I got next to her,
Yeah.
her speed increased, and there's no one in front of her. And I'm like, that's funny. For the past 5 minutes, you wouldn't go a mile an hour past 68. And now that we have the option to go past you, you want the control. So
how fast were you prepared to go to find out?
Oh, dude, I would have went 120 to get past her. But I do find that you don't incite anger or competitive nature with people like that if you do it slowly. So some people don't notice. Like there's especially guys. There's a lot of guys, but there's girls too that do it. That if you do the, I'm trying to get past you, left, right, weave, kind of I'm close on you, and then a spot opens up and you veer to the right, they'll be like, and now you're into this pissing match whose dick is bigger, going down the road. And that's what I don't want. So I just tried to creep, and she was giving me, the old stare ahead side eye, like I'm still paying attention to you.
Exactly.
And then the funny thing is, at a certain point, it was like when a light turns green and you're almost coming to a stop and someone else is completely stopped. If you want to give it a little gas, you're just going to breeze right past them. It's going to take a minute for them to get up to speed.
Right.
And since I was already accelerating, I had that option. And once I saw, that she was being a fucking bitch, I decided, all right, gas it. And I gave her a chance, and I just gassed it, completely past her. And surprisingly enough, you saw her car just drift back to 68.
So she could catch the next person.
There were a line of people right behind her, and I'm like, what is with... I mean, it's a conveyance. You're going somewhere. You don't want to get to that place, that destination? Like, go. Or go in the right lane with the people holding the mattresses on their roof, and their hazards on. Go in the right lane with the semis, if that's what you want to do,
It's the same set of laws here. There are even signs everywhere. Stay out of the left lane and accept the pass. I mean, the police do every 6 months or so. They try and enforce the same things here. But it is just a common theme, and you're right. It leads to so much nonsensical road rage because it's like, why are you hanging out here and causing the traffic to slow down when you can get over? And my favorite is too when someone actually is startled. But then they realize, well, I'm mad because you're on my butt. So then they're like, they put the blinker on like they're going to get over, and then they don't. Then they continue to go slow for another 20 miles. So actually, I don't give anybody the finger. I'm not trying to get in a fight with anybody, but I do now as a matter of course. I give it the gas and I go by at 130 miles per hour or more, so that there's no question.
Good. That's the dick that I remember.
Yes,
knowing Todd Dillon in the past. When I was married years ago, my dad had three brothers, and one of his brothers, my Uncle Ed, was over to my dad's house for Christmas, and me and my wife got into at the time what turned out to be a fairly aggressive argument with him because he took the stance that he's like, I don't know why people get all so upset. I'm just following the law. Speed limit's 70. I'm sure at the time, back in the day, it was 65. I'm in the left lane. That's my right as a driver. I'm going the speed limit. I'm driving 65.
Damn right.
It's you guys who are speeding. You're breaking the law. And so you I don't have to go through it again, but obviously you present the whole argument that we've been talking about, and he's like, no, you guys are fucking criminals. Me? I'm obeying the law.
There's a large group of people, first of all, that they don't know. We're never taught in driver's training that the left lane is a passing lane. That's number one. Two, there are absolutely people, I've talked to people, and they're very matter of fact, thinking and saying that, yeah, it's my right. Mm-hmm. I'm going exactly the speed limit. I can be in whatever lane I want to be in.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not the way it goes. That's
right.
And that's not a right. That's not a constitutional right.
I was going to say, here's the thing. Regardless of rights, I think the greater point is be nice to one another. At the end of the day, unless, again, even when I see people driving like idiots behind me, sweeping in and out of traffic, I get out of the way. That way the assholes can actually be on their way and not put other people in danger. So just be courteous. Even if it annoys you, being courteous would solve the whole thing. But just hanging out, loitering in that lane, one of my biggest all-time pet peeves.
I will give you a third driver that is not necessarily that I find annoying, but I find comical.
Okay.
It's the passive aggressive, seemingly asshole driver, and so with explanation. So it's the driver that's on your ass when you're in the left lane, going very quickly. Like, let's say you're going 85 in a 70, trying to overtake another vehicle, and you've got this guy just right on your ass. It doesn't matter if you go faster, he goes faster. Right on your ass, so you do the right thing, and you're like, okay, as soon as I pass this vehicle, I'm going to get over in the middle lane and let this guy go by.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, once this guy realizes no one's in front of him, then he's the one speeding. And then all of a sudden he drops down to 70. I've encountered this man many, many times. So
the drafter.
Yes, he's a drafter. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah, because if someone else is speeding and you can draft behind them, like people think like, well, I'm not going to get pulled over. It's the
first
guy
guy
in front of me, right? Mm-hmm. But if you become the first guy, people are like, oh fuck, you're just like, I'm exposed. I got to back off and try to find someone else to draft behind.
But the funny thing is if an officer pulls out going after the first guy and you're going just as quickly, he's going to meet you before he meets the first guy.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, you can play let me get out of the way, officer.
But if you're drafting, I assume that you're also the kind of person who's watching your rear views, and if you see a cop, you're going to stop drafting and get over to the right.
And get over.
And pretend like, oh, I was just out for a Sunday drive. I'm not sure what came over me.
I think it's hysterical because I watch these guys, and, you know, they're one in very, very many. Once in a blue moon kind of situation, but it's always comical because usually it's just the asshole that wants to fly past you.
Yeah.
But when it's these guys, I laugh because I'm like, okay, so I just test and I just get over, and they're like, whoa. They go way back, and they get over in the middle lane, and then I'll get back in the left lane and just floor it, and then all of a sudden you'll see them kind of get back over again. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be your shield.
I have people do that to me all the time, especially when they realize I have a radar detector. Absolutely. I get drafters, and I'm like, all right, you're on my butt. I'll get out of the way. I know I'm going pretty fast, but I'll get over. And like you said, they pass me, and they're like, oh, he's got a radar detector. And then they slow down and slide back in the slot. And I'm like, all right, buddy. But then Nick, I agree with you. Then I'm like, well, I'm going to let go because this guy's going to get busted before I do. Because I'll see the police in front of me long before he does, and I can slow down.
Yeah.
And Scotty Moore has coined the phrase highway throttle jockeys.
Guilty.
Throttle jockeys.
Guilty.
Oh, my God. Hey,
let's do the shot.
Hey, Todd, what are you drinking tonight?
I got a little straight bourbon from 2 Bar Spirits here, local distillery here in Washington.
Okay. That's your shot. What's your drink?
That's my drink. I'm drinking a little, my Rogue Brewing Bat Squatch Hazy IPA.
All righty.
Not the Bat Squatch.
The Bat Squatch.
So we're going to do an audience participation shot right now. So if you're in the future, pour yourself a shot, get yourself a libation, and join us. And here's to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers.
Oh, that's good stuff. Ooh. That sweet corn.
It always
It could
goes
be colder.
It always goes down smoother when Bob pours the shot at the beginning of a Nick story,
Right.
and then follows it up with his own story, and then Todd tells a story. And I'm like, hey, man, hey.
But I figure if we're all telling stories, I'm like, I'm not the only one that's made this shot go warm.
I feel like they're looking at me like, over here, drink us. Just watching the sweat beads from the room temperature, just bringing the temperature up, and it just drives me insane. There's nothing worse than warm Fireball going down like a rusty rake.
Cheers, Kate.
Kate, who's out there, Kate?
Kate Alice.
Kate Alice. Big shout out to Kate. Well, I know a lot of Kates.
Like, is Kate Upton just walked into your house? Like,
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about Kate Woodcock.
Admiring your helicopter, mountain, and waterfall, and was wondering what kind of podcast you're shooting.
Also, big weekend for those Marvel fans out there. Black Widow just opened up yesterday.
Word.
Ooh.
Lori's absolute favorite Marvel character ever. She's been waiting for years for this movie, so she wanted to take her son and invited me along. And So I'm happy to report that if you're a Black Widow fan, it does not disappoint. If you're not a Black Widow fan, but you're a Marvel fan, it's pretty good. And
How
if
can you
you're
not be a fan of hers? That's an awesome character.
I was just going to say, if you're a fan of Scarlett Johansson's ass, this is the movie for you. I don't know. The crazy part is I thought that it was directed by a woman. I could be wrong about that, but there's no shortage of shots that lingered on her ass. And at one point, we looked over each other going like, it's a great ass. I'm just noticing there's a lot of those ass shots, but I'm fine with that. She's like, yeah, it's a great ass. I'm not sure why, but okay, it is what it is.
Colin Jost must be an executive producer.
Colin Jost is a lucky motherfucker.
I feel like you don't find it slightly disturbing that the favorite Marvel movie of your girlfriend, your girlfriend, is the name of it. The name of this superhero is based off the most poisonous spider in North America.
She's deadly, baby.
Hold on.
She's deadly, kid.
Where only the female spider is deadly. The male like does nothing.
Yeah,
he's impotent.
I mean,
is this some sort of symbolism? Like,
what? But I'm not also a superhero in this equation.
No.
I'm just
You're the male spider.
I'm the superhero's boyfriend.
You're the male Black Widow.
Okay. No, I'm not the male Black. What?
Yeah, and you're not even a
Wait,
widow,
what?
so you'd be like the male, just black, just the black male spider.
I as a white man, I'm somehow offended by that.
You're offended.
I'm
You
somehow
shouldn't be.
offended.
You shouldn't be. That's offensive to Todd that you're offensive. That you're offended.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
I feel like Todd would back me up and have my back on the offense that's taken.
What I'm saying is you are emasculated by that Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That's the part of the equation where we just go, it's just a comic book, man.
Okay.
Oh no,
That's
real.
I think she's trying to tell you something.
I think David Harbour knocks it out of the park though as Red Guardian. So if you get a chance, Todd, check it out.
I'm just
definitely. Dude, that again, I'm in love with that whole franchise, but I think she is one of the most compelling characters. She doesn't have any superpowers, and she's still kicking ass and taking names. That is awesome.
Well, I only wanted to comment because I care about you, man, and
I appreciate that.
I do, and I only want to see good things happening for you.
I love that you thought good things weren't happening for me, so you needed to step in.
He came, Todd, this is a true story. He came to my house, and one of his ears was bleeding. He had blood coming out of his ear. So I'm a little concerned that after spending 8 days on vacation with Lori, and after this Black Widow thing, he's got blood running out of one of his ears. And I'm like, do you understand
that's what a good friend does, Tom.
that you have blood coming literally out of your ear, dripping down your face? And he's like, didn't notice that. And I'm like,
as all victims of the Black Widow do, they go, "Oh, I wasn't aware that I was bleeding to death."
that's what they do. They bite you in the night.
Silent killer.
Yes,
silent killer.
So there was some emergency bandaging that had to transpire because but even before drinking,
Nick was like,
could not get it to stop. This true story.
Yeah.
Definitely right before the podcast.
That's why you were waiting to get in the room, Todd, because there was a Band-Aid being applied to my.
That's awesome.
There is literally.
Did Lori cut you because you weren't acting right?
I don't want to.
Is that a warning shot?
I don't want to.
I'm sure you deserved it,
but no, I absolutely probably.
Wasn't that a thing back in the day? The teachers that grabbed you by the ear.
You're thinking
Yes.
of.
Yeah,
You're thinking of porn films.
No, every private school, every religious school.
Yeah, you had to be rich enough to
ear.
afford to go to a school where they grabbed your ear. Normally, they just beat you up with a ruler.
Take a piece of wet bamboo and hit you across the knuckles.
Or they call the cops and have you arrested, framed for murder.
Yeah,
one of the two.
But anyhow, so I'm just concerned.
Anyway,
just concerned about you. Buddy.
No, this is what good friends do. They look out for your well-being. They offer you a Band-Aid when you've clearly been abused by your significant other, and what more could you ask for?
And serve you alcohol. Perfect.
The funniest thing about it, Todd, was I said, "Hey man, your ear's bleeding. It looks like it might be old." And he's like,
and it wasn't actually bleeding, but It certainly started to.
And he goes, what, this year? And he like just
and I scratched off the
scab and like dried blood around his ear from when apparently
I have no idea what the hell
attempting to shave his face with his eyes closed. and he like
who doesn't do that? It's a Friday.
Yeah, it was like unscrewing one of the round caps on like a fire hydrant.
Yeah, dude.
Because all of a sudden it's just like running, and I'm like, you might want to. I'm like, just look in the mirror.
The amount of blood that is pooling up in my headphones right now.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
And he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he keeps touching it, and he's got blood on his hands. And he's like, oh, man. And then
you touch it thinking, like, oh, I expect if there's no blood, like,
he touches it. He touches it again. And he's like, dude. And I'm like, okay, Bob, you have your phone, don't you? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So he pulls his phone out.
Yeah.
Opens his phone. Puts his phone.
This is embarrassing.
Puts his phone in front of his face, and instead of moving the phone to where his ear would be,
if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you're really missing out here because you really need to see what he's about to do.
So instead of putting your phone in front of your face and then moving your phone slightly to where your ear would be and looking to your right, like with your eyes and not your head, to see like you're using a mirror, Bob holds the phone in front of his face and then turns his entire body. Turns his whole body with the phone and the hand. Everything turns in one direction. And I witnessed it. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. How am I supposed to look at my ear?
Oh, my God.
So he ended it with snapping photos of his ear and then looking at the photos.
Hadn't had one drink.
So
awesome.
I said to him, he's like, well, we got to go inside now. And I'm like, why? I'm like, he's like, dude, we got to start. My ear's bleeding, and we got to figure something out.
Something's got to give.
And I said, well, I can put a Band-Aid on. Oh, yeah. You're going to Band-Aid my ear so you can make fun of me during the whole podcast?
I forgot that I'd be wearing headphones, and all I could picture is Nick every time he looked over at my left, which is conveniently where it is in the left ear, facing Nick, that he would look at it just out of the blue, just sort of.
I mean, I do purchase the Caucasian flesh tone bandages, so
for which I am eternally grateful.
So it would somewhat blend in. It's not quite the pinkish hue of your skin, but it would blend. It was like just a little tan spot.
If you could get some with like flecks of gray in it, so it blend with my hair that are right above the ear,
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So
next time you go to the store.
So eventually we get down here and he's like, "Did I get it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it looks like you just wiped it." And so he's got like a piece of paper towel that's just soaked in like spots of blood.
By the way, this is great audio content.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so he like takes it and loosely throws it in like an open bag of his on the ground.
I didn't put it on your table or your floor. I put it in my bag.
He goes,
that's the important
So
part.
It's just kind of laying there, a light piece of paper towel.
inside the bag.
Just on this very, very open bag. And I'm like,
it's open. It's in the bag.
You are going to haphazardly pick this bag up, and I'm going to find this disgusting hepatitis rag
I said, no,
on my floor.
I commit to you that
He's
that
like,
will not
nope,
happen.
that won't happen. I'm like, yeah, because you always remember everything at the end of our podcast nights.
I think you just crystallized it perfectly.
Yeah.
I always remember everything.
Yeah, you do. So he sits down, and I look over, and there's this giant.
I had already told him, I'm like, hey, if you happen to be next to me, you look over, and it's starting to like drip down my ear or something, please tell me.
He's like, because I don't want.
I'm wearing a white T-shirt
on my white shirt, and I look
at your floor.
And I won't be able to turn my whole body to see it.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, what?
What? And it just flings it onto my face.
Should I go to the bathroom? What?
So I look over, and he's like, you almost ready to start? And he doesn't have his cans on
right.
yet.
He goes, oh my God.
And I look over, and there's this giant teardrop of blood like about to come right off of his lobe. And I'm like, whoa!
Like the kind you'd see in like a Jason Bourne like opening credits montage.
Like just ready for it to drop. And I'm like, Bob! So what does he do? He just jams his hand up against it. And he's like,
what else can you do?
Oh my God.
No, I still had I went to get the
I said, yeah, grab the rag.
The period rag that I had in my bag over there. And then went to the bathroom. And I'm like, hey, man, if you could get that Band-Aid.
Ketchup and pennies.
That would be great.
Ketchup and pennies, Bob.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So he goes in the John and I assume correctly looks at himself in the mirror because he could not turn the wall. So.
I looked in the mirror like.
Yeah. His whole body turned around. This isn't working very well.
Took your mirror off the wall.
The shoulders don't articulate. I'm just an action figure that moves like this.
So he comes out of the bathroom slightly deflated, and he's like, All right, man, I'll take that Band-Aid.
You guys, sometimes you got to admit defeat. A lot of people don't know when to admit defeat. And I'm here to tell you, you young kids out there,
You're bleeding.
and I know you're out there, you got to admit defeat.
When
It's no knock against you. Sometimes you can't conquer the world. You just got to ask for help sometime.
That's correct.
Yeah, dude, I back in the day had both my ears pierced and have lived.
Did you have both your ears pierced?
Yeah, there's a lot of people my age did.
Okay.
And
Well, you're younger than I am. So
yeah,
that was not done when I was your age.
No.
Yeah.
And that included in 38 years, I don't think I ever remember my ears bleeding.
Well, the crazy part is, like, I never scratched it. I didn't bump up against anything. Like, nothing happened.
Had you fed?
I've been working all day.
Had you fed Indy when you left? Because I know you were kind of tired when you came home. Was there a chance that maybe he started gnawing on it, like when you went on the couch?
No, Indy sleeps all day. You have to be awake to do that. he slept all day long. Only woke up to eat in the morning and still hadn't eaten his dinner by the time I left, so that was not it. Anyway, this is fantastic, amazing content, but we probably need to move on from this.
Can I make one comment? Maybe you're getting cuffed in the head by Black Widow because you're malfunctioning, and she does that to reboot you, and that's how your ears started bleeding.
Todd, if that's true, why haven't I rebooted?
Because she hasn't been there to cuff you in the head again.
No, the cuffing happened. I saw it last night at the movie. There should have been some sort of Control-Alt-Delete that happened and brought me in its six, but back to square one.
Hold on.
Yeah.
One more clarifying question.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
Yeah.
Movie last night.
Yeah.
What side was Lori sitting on your right or your left?
She's on my left.
That's the ear.
That's it.
Oh my God.
That's it.
Now,
Succubus.
I would like it known that for those people that think that I somehow needed to be cuffed last night, we had the 3 seats in the row that were 2 off the end of the row. So there were 2 empty seats to my right. There was so we sit down and these 2 people are already sitting there. You know, when you're sitting in the movie, you're like, you just kind of do a quick scan, like axe murder. Nope. Okay, we're good. So we sit down and, you know, movie theaters nowadays, they've got buttons on the side where, like, you know, legs come up, the back goes back, you get into reclining mode, and you got cup holders. It's awesome. All the shit that you wish that you had when we were kids. So I looked at this guy, and he's like trying to fumble with the buttons, and I'm like, oh, so there's a white button over here, and you got to hit that. He's like, it's not working. So I'm like, well, let me try.
What is this for?
To recline the seat.
Oh, okay.
He's an older gentleman there with his younger son.
Yeah.
So I sort of just reached right over the seat in between us, the seat, the armrest in between us, and I hit the button and it isn't working. And I pointed and I'm like, is your son's working? And I noticed that his son is wearing a helmet. And he clearly isn't going to do what I'm thinking he's going to do, which is test the seat button. So the dad reaches over and he tries to work. He's like, no, it's not working. I said, you know what? We got time for the movie starts. Let me go see if I can find someone, see if they can fix the seat. Oh, you don't have to do that. I'm like, that's no problem. So I get up and I noticed that the guy has I knew he had a cane because he's an older guy, but I also didn't know that he was missing his leg below the knee and he had like a prosthetic leg.
You're looking at a lot of stuff going on in this theater.
Well, the lights are up.
Okay.
But I didn't notice it when I sat down.
So do you think his skateboarding son like fell into him when he was trying to ollie or something like that?
His son had some issues.
Oh, okay, so it was not a skateboard issue. It was like an impairment issue.
It was like a dad and his son. I assume it was his son. Where I'm like, oh man, these people. Like my heart went out to the guy. I'm like, hey, you're missing a leg. Your son's special needs. I'm like, yeah, let me go see if I can get. So I walked down the hall. I'm like, hey, could you get somebody to come? Yeah, no problem. So they come out and they're like, hey, could you move? Could you get up? So now they're asking the guy with one leg and the cane and his special needs son to get up and move to the row in front of him so they can look, because they have to take chairs, and they literally like push him back like this. And they're trying to figure out what's wrong with it. And they made the guy move 3 times so that they could fix the chair. And they made us get up too, so they could look underneath our seats. And they finally did fix it with some sort of wire that wasn't connected. And so the guy finally sat down, and he's trying to, and he hit the button, and you could see his legs go up, and he kind of
his legs.
like yeah, when the footrest came up.
Yeah, but I thought he had one leg.
He had a prosthetic leg.
Okay.
So they came up with a recliner, and his back started to go back, and he kind of looked over at me and he smiled. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's like,
I'm not.
And I felt really good.
Did you feel like
I felt like a superhero
on the receiving end of Denzel in Training Day?
Oh no, Denzel fucked over everybody in Training Day. Well, that's a horrible example. Use a better example. Denzel fucked over his own partner and everyone else he ever met in Training Day.
At the beginning.
He's the worst. He's a very reprehensible character in Training Day.
Correct. Very true.
Although it was a great movie.
So
we were at 10 o'clock.
We got about on the actual recording. We got 5 minutes.
Oh, we got 5 minutes.
Yep.
So Todd, do you want to squeeze in a little 90-second sports?
I can do that.
And we see him heading in that direction. The 20. He's going for 40. And it's 90 seconds forward.
Mr. Todd Dillon. Hey, if you're new to the podcast, 90 Second Sports we are not a sports podcast.
90 Second Sports is brought to you by
never have been a sports podcast.
Nabisco.
However, Mr. Nick Bader, the only sports hater on the podcast, has generously allowed us, and Mr. Todd Dillon in particular, to have 90 seconds of a 2-hour, mind you, podcast, 90 seconds in which to discuss sports. So Todd has meticulously prepared a 90-second sports segment for you. We don't know what it is. We have no idea what he's going to talk about, but he only has 90 seconds, and that clock is managed by Mr. Nick Bader.
All right, Todd. 90 Second Sports starts now.
Sweet. There's a ton to talk about, and I know that people are dying to hear about what's going on with this horse racing scandal I've been talking about the last couple podcasts. But I'm not going to talk about that this week. I'm not going to talk about that this week. Soup and a sandwich, got jobbed. We all know that. Anyway. Then I was going to talk about the fact that Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace have a video with Post Malone. Holy shit. NASCAR rappers, black NASCAR drivers. I'm like, that is something I want to talk about for 90 seconds. But then I realized this past weekend, there was a golf tournament in Michigan, the Rocket Mortgage Championship, held at the Detroit Country Club. I've actually played there.
So have I.
What an awesome contest that was last weekend. There was a 5-hole playoff, lots of drama. And so I was going to talk about that for the 90 seconds that I had today. And then I saw some asshat at the Scottish Open today walk up to Rory McIlroy and steal a club out of his bag.
What?
And the dude walked onto the frickin' practice tee with Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, and his caddy, and frickin' grabbed his driver with his little lion head cover, and frickin' tried to walk off with it, dropped it, turned around, came back, and grabbed another frickin' club out of his bag and walked away like, bitch, this is mine. And I'm like, no freaking way. I thought that John Rahm was going to come out of his cleats and knock the shit out of the guy.
And that's 90 Second Sports, ladies and gentlemen. That's enough. Thank you, Mr. Dillon. That was fantastic.
Oh, my God.
You can see the rest on my TikTok video.
What's your TikTok ID, Todd?
D's nuts. 3232.
D's nuts. DEEZ. NUTS or Z?
Z.
DEEZ.
Wait, start again.
Yeah, this is confusing. This is a predominantly
nuts.
White podcast, so you're going to have to...
No, Todd only.
3-2.
And only Todd. Start again.
D's nuts _3232. DEEZ NUTZ _3232.
So follow Todd on TikTok if you guys are interested, and you can somehow navigate that.
Dude stole a club out of a grown man's bag. Didn't happen over here.
So we are at about 59 minutes on the first half of the podcast. Now we're going to take a bit of a break. How many minutes do you want to do this time? If we're
we'll do 15.
We're going to still do 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will see you guys.
No. Stop.
No, we're not.
No. We're gonna do a clean break for the music. So you're gonna
we can't introduce because it's a 15-minute music.
Because I'm not gonna use this 15-minute music. I'm gonna use other music. This is just for
too many cooks.
I'll explain to you on the side.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
so we're gonna go for a break, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
And welcome back to episode 131 for Schnozzcast. We are back. I see we have Todd Dillon back as well. Nick has poured us another couple of shots.
Oh, I'm back.
Couple libations.
Back, baby. Baby. Todd, we're going to do a shot if you want to join us.
I'm pouring one up right now.
There we go. Here we go. We're going to wait. We're going to wait just a second. Yeah. What's that? I did.
All right.
All righty. In the meantime, we're waiting for Todd to pour that shot. Todd, let us know when you're done.
Done.
Okay, here we go. All right. So please join us, Schnozzcast fans out there. Pour yourself a shot and drink along with us. Cheers.
And if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, go ahead and pause us. And we're back. Let's do a shot.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Nastrovia.
Ooh-hoo.
All right.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do a little booze news here.
And now it's time for booze news.
Ooh. Let me pull up my OneNote here. So once upon a time, in the not too distant past, Ms. Danielle Finn on this podcast had given us a little bit of a story about her childhood preference for Slim Jims.
And Danielle Fenn, for people that don't listen to the podcast, it's who?
Engaged
That sounds
to,
like code. she likes the Slim Jims.
Damn.
It is not a metaphor. She actually loves Slim Jims. Grew up loving them. And Danielle Fenn, for those who are new to the podcast, is engaged to our co-host, Mr. Cory Slesky.
Don't tortoises have Slim Jims?
Say that again.
What?
I feel like tortoises have Slim Jims. I think I was watching a documentary and they got Slim Jims.
Definitely pass that along when you get the name of that documentary, and we'll share it with the audience because I'd love to see it. Tortoises with Slim Jims sounds like a winner and a potential gentleman's agreement assignment.
The shy toidle.
So I just want to kind of go through. I took a look at Wired.com probably 3 months ago, and I've been sitting on this. So I just want to kind of run through it real quick. It was interesting to me. So from Wired.com, an entire article about Slim Jims. It's real meat, all right, but it ain't Kobe. U.S. Department of Agriculture categorizes beef into 8 grades of quality. The bottom 3 quality grades of meat are utility, cutter, and canner. They're typically used in processed foods and come from older steers with partially ossified vertebrae, tougher tissue, and generally less reason to live.
Oh, Jesus.
ConAgra, the manufacturer of Slim Jims, wasn't exactly forthcoming on what's inside Slim Jim, so they did a little bit of their own research here.
So they're like the culls of cows.
Yes, yeah, exactly. The Marshalls of cows. So Slim Jim is made by ConAgra, and if there are 2 things that ConAgra has a lot of, it's corn and wheat. Although ConAgra refers to Slim Jims as a meat stick, it has a lot in common with old-fashioned fermented sausages like salami and pepperoni. They all use bacteria and sugar to produce lactic acid, which lowers the pH of the sausage to around 5.0, firming up the meat. There's a title for the episode, possibly firming up the meat, and hopefully killing all harmful bacteria. There's dextrose, which serves as food for the lactic acid starter culture. Slim Jim, it's alive.
Jesus.
Salt binds the water molecules in the meat, leaving little H2O available for microbial activity and thereby preventing spoilage. One Slim Jim gives you more than 1/6 of the sodium your body needs in one day.
Oh, my God.
And as I recall, she said she was eating them by the dozens.
Oh, yeah. She was. They were like, she. I think she has like a container that is very parallel to like a container McDonald's would dump a heaping handful of fries into.
Yeah.
And she eats them like French fries, I think.
Yeah.
And by the way, the word was not coals. It was culls.
Culls?
Culls, meaning...
To remove.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Coles, and I was
No.
Marshalls?
No, so in lobster sales, there's a lobster that's much cheaper called a cull.
Yes.
and you can purchase them. And
I'm saying yes, like I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I remember-
This is news
We
to
call
me.
them chicken lobsters in Massachusetts.
exactly.
Yes.
So when we were out in Maine, my dad had bought all these Maine lobsters, and his buddy at the time, who God rest his soul is no longer with us, was kind of a squirrely guy, and he said, "Oh, you know what? It's a pretty good deal, but I got a better deal." And my dad said, "What?" He goes, "I got 2 dozen, and mine was like almost half the price as yours." And my dad's like, "That doesn't even make any sense. I think we went to the same place."
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, look, these are fine." And he's like, they had some weird name for them. I don't even. They're still lobsters though. And
Right.
and the butcher was like, "Yeah, they're culls." And he said, my dad, knowing what it was, so he waited for him to get back to the house. So he brings it back to the house, and his wife, my aunt, my grandma, like all the ladies, the matriarchs of the family were around, and my dad, pours out this bag of wonderful looking Maine lobsters, and then Daryl pours out this bag of quote unquote chicken lobsters. And I remember, my aunt and his wife especially saying, "What the fuck are those?" And he goes, "What? They're lobsters. What's the problem with them? They got a great deal."
Yep.
And she goes, "What? They look weird. What is going on with them? This one's missing a claw." And
This one's got a prosthetic leg.
yeah, and so appealing to my dad's infinite wisdom on nature, they said, "Well, Gregory, what I don't understand what is it?" And he said, "Well, they're culls." And she said, "What is a cull?" And he said, they're aesthetically not as pleasing all the time. Sometimes they're missing a leg or a claw or diseased, and they come at a cheaper price." And she said, "You fucking asshole." She goes, "I'm not eating those fucking things."
Diseased lobsters.
That's definitely different than a chicken lobster. In
No.
Mass, you get the chicken lobsters when they're under a pound. They're still perfectly fine, high quality. They're just not giant ones.
Right.
Yeah, cull is typically usually just aesthetically not as pleasing, but my dad threw in diseased, feeling like he was being funny, and completely turned everyone off their dinner. They're like, "Take
Right.
those back to the store. We're not eating those things."
I think my definition still holds up then. They were the ones that should be removed. That's what I'm like, cull.
Yes.
That means like to be removed, right? I'm like, that's a
Diseased.
good reason to call them that.
Yep.
And not coals, like I thought he said.
Yeah. No, not cold. Yeah. Well, it just kind of throws me for a loop because, I always thought of Bob as a good audience, and there was no joke about Coles, and he was like, "Oh, Coles,
Marshalls.
that's so funny." And I'm like, "Oh,
Right. I said Marshalls think I was being hilarious. And Nick's like, "What the fuck?"
yeah." I'm like, "No, not what. What is funny about me relating Slim Jims to Coles?"
Literally nothing. So let me get through the end of the last 3 ingredients of Slim Jims. The first of which is mechanically separated chicken.
Oh man.
Did you imagine a conveyor belt? Did you imagine a conveyor belt carrying live chickens into a giant machine set to the cartoon theme powerhouse? You're right. Well, maybe not about the music. Poultry scraps are pressed mechanically through a sieve that extrudes the meat as a bright pink paste and leaves the bones behind most of the time.
Oh, I have had little nuggets of bone in my Slim Jims.
And the last 2 ingredients, first is hydrolyzed soy. Hydrolysis, in this instance, breaks larger soy protein molecules into their constituent amino acids, such as glutamic acid. And if Dr. Phil Anton is out there listening, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Typically, the process also results in glutamic acid salt, also known as monosodium glutamate, a familiar flavor enhancer. And finally, sodium nitrate. Cosmetically, sodium nitrate is added to sausage because it combines with myoglobin in animal muscle to keep it from turning gray. Antibiotically, it inhibits botulism. Toxicologically, 6.6 grams of this stuff, roughly the equivalent of 1,400 Slim Jims, can kill you. So go easy, Danielle Fenn. Go easy, Danielle Fenn. 1,400 is the number that you should never exceed.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, it's just to end on a high note.
What nutritiously speaking, I guess. what is the difference between mechanically separated chicken and like just a normal chicken that's separated by a human?
Separated.
Because they press the meat through a sieve that is supposed to leave the bones behind. It's an automated way for them to extract the meat from the bones, but it doesn't happen 100% of the time.
So there's
scraps or slivers of bones. Yeah, there's
spillage.
Let's just call it spillage.
Yeah, there's some spillage.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think that's going to stop the consumption of Slim Jims by anyone in our audience or Danielle.
Well, if we had an audience and you're listening to this, yeah, I mean, just so when you get a Slim Jim from the local party store or liquor store, just so you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
That's all.
But I thought Slim Jim had beef in it.
I mean, did I list beef as one of those things that I was talking about?
I thought it was just a chicken.
You thought it was just chicken?
A bunch of chicken and a bunch of chemicals.
So, you know,
I literally just read off all of the ingredients.
Todd, you know, if you put enough beef base in something, it tastes beefy.
Yeah, yes.
So let me just rattle these off for you. So the main ingredients according to Wired.com, and I'm not affiliated with them at all, so they did their own research here. According to Wired.com, the main ingredients from Conagra's Slim Jims are mechanically separated chicken, corn and wheat proteins, lactic acid starter culture, dextrose, salt, hydrolyzed soy, and sodium nitrate. Not a lot of beef in there.
So for those,
not a lot of none.
For those of you who are not aware, lactic acid is a naturally occurring acid in your body. That's the muscle cramps that you get from running a shuttle run or something like that, and you get that pain in your calf. Or you get that pain in your thigh.
For anybody who's ever seen Few Good Men, lactic acidosis, that's connected to the run that Todd, do you remember the name of the guy who died in Few Good
people
Men?
that die? That's always funny.
The guy who died in the movie Few Good Men that precipitated the whole trial with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson in the courtroom.
Oh, I can't.
Private Santiago. Private William T. Santiago had gone for a run and had died of lactic acidosis.
Yes. Like uromycetitis.
Very, very similar. So let's now bring in Mr. Cory Selesky, who's made a triumphant return to the Schnozzcast, fresh from his stint in the subcontinent. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, Bob's going to have to unmute you for that. So
hold on.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
It's the Tawas tortoise.
New episode title.
Todd, have you been hanging on to that this entire time just until I got
For the
here?
last hour and a half, absolutely. Absolutely, he has.
Tawas tortoise.
Well, much
I
appreciated.
planted that
Thank
seed
you.
early.
I see that.
Cory, let me just recap the whole episode for you. So, housekeeping, and then we did this, and what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into gentleman's agreement, if you've got a graphic there for that, sir.
We do. Surprisingly, we don't have any kind of audio for gentleman's agreement
You
yet.
know what? If anyone's got any...
I got to get on that.
If anyone's got any ideas for what a gentleman's agreement audio cue would sound like, or what you'd like to hear, please feel free to text us or send us or leave us a voicemail on 618-SHOCKER.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Also, I have to switch out the graphic on this, Todd, to include you. It was prior to making that graphic the last time. The only time I think I've ever used Switcher, I think, was once or twice before this. So we'll throw that in there. But
no worries, and I'll do a Funko of this version of Gentleman's Agreement.
Oh, yeah.
oh, Lord. Gentleman's Agreement's going to have to be a little classy, man. We're in top hats with handlebar mustaches.
Absolutely.
If you could do like a Charleston, like some sort of song to a Charleston, that'd
old
be
school, like 1940s jazz, something like that.
I got it.
I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I got it.
I don't know if telling the one minority male on the podcast to sing and dance for us for
No.
for our
Produce music for a podcast.
Produce the music.
That's what we just asked.
Sing for us for our 1930s gentleman's agreement thing.
Produce music.
I'm going Puff Daddy on you boys.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. So
Hardcore rap is.
I
what we
want to start with Cory because he's just entered the room and he needs to take the mic for a little bit.
Sure.
So, Cory, you needed to watch Condor. Can't remember who assigned it to you.
Here's the problem with me taking the mic first, Bob.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about Gentleman's Agreement this week.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
That's fine. And it wasn't this. To be fair.
Oh.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair. It was the last 2 weeks, and we had.
That is true. We had 2 weeks to watch all this shit.
But it was pretty eventful. No one was watching any kind of movies whilst we were on vacation, enjoying ourselves. So, slip of the mind. That's completely understandable. Get it? I almost didn't watch mine because I'm like, oh, we didn't have one assigned.
I honestly didn't think about the last episode we did before we left.
Yeah, I'm like, we didn't have one assigned, and on the beach we didn't assign anything because no one could hear us because it was the waves.
That's the level of dedication that you'll find on the Schnozzcast.
Yeah, it's fine.
Todd Dillon, you had to watch The Big Short from me.
Yes, dude. Solid movie. I'm giving it a solid B-, dude.
Wait, what? B-?
Oh yeah. Have I doled out any A's? Have I doled out any A's?
Does the word solid equate to a B- in your world?
No, it's a solid B-, dude. You're teetering on the edge of a B.
Okay. All right.
It was solid.
30-second synopsis.
Yes. Well, the name kind of gives it away. I mean, ultimately, it's a comedy parody following fairly closely the storyline of the housing crisis where America bailed out all the banks for being cheating bitches. Big names in it. There are no spoilers, right? It's based on the true story of how the housing market collapse happened, and then a guy who looked like an idiot savant, played by Christian Bale, basically figured out a way to bet against what had been one of the most solid markets in banking, which was mortgages. People didn't default on mortgages, and people started giving out loans that they shouldn't have, and it kind of runs that course. And Steve Carell is masterful. Brad Pitt's in it. It's a who's who. Freaking solid movie. Would recommend this to my mom.
All right.
All right. So that leaves Nick and myself, who had to watch the same thing. We both had to watch Ozark.
Did we really?
Yeah.
I thought I assigned someone something.
Well,
it's got to be something.
I can't remember how it happened, but
Danielle assigned one of you guys Ozark. Or I assigned someone Ozark.
You assigned it to me.
Yeah.
Somehow it also got assigned.
Maybe Krabby when he was here?
Might have been.
But I will tell you this.
Because did you miss last week? Like, not Beach Week, but the one before that?
No.
Like,
no,
a review?
We had a discussion about it.
I think
because
someone said, can I give
the
same?
Danielle picked Ozark for Nick as well, even though I already picked it for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she's like, that's what I wanted to give. And then we talked about it, and we're like, is this going to be acceptable?
Yeah.
But also just in on the Shocker line.
Yeah?
This just in. Yeah.
Okay.
Scotty Moore wants to let us know who you guys saw episode 128 or 29, maybe 27.
29 probably.
29 when Scotty Moore was here. He was assigned a gentleman's agreement from TD. And he just wanted to let us know that he is available to give his review if we want to tie him into the line, and he can give his as well.
Do you have his number? Do you want to call him back from the Shocker line, or my phone is tied up as a camera? So
I can call him right from my phone.
You got his number?
Yep.
We can do it. We can hold it up to the.
Who's this person again?
Scott Ward.
Scott Ward.
Connected via Bluetooth.
My phone's right there.
No, Nick's
the
phone.
Mash Monkey.
They can do that if he wants to.
Yeah, we can do that somehow. So in the interim, while we're doing that, if Bob wants to give his review of Ozark, and then we can move forward from there.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. So Ozark. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, I watched the whole first season, and it was hit and miss as time would come up. I'm sitting on a call or I'm in between calls. I got 30 minutes to spare and all my work's done, et cetera, et cetera. But I got the whole first season of Ozark. So Ozark had been on my watch list for a couple years. And
It's been around for a while.
I'd never gotten to it. And so I was happy to get assigned. You're always happy when you get assigned something that you already intended to watch, but I never got around to. So big Jason Bateman fan. Laura Linney is the other lead in the show, and there's a couple of people that I recognized in the cast, but other than that, generally B-list or minor level actors from there. But Bateman's always good, and I was hooked from the first episode. I was like, oh, this is a show. So essentially, Jason Bateman plays, and try to keep this spoiler free. He plays a financial advisor in the Chicago area whose firm is involved in some shady dealings. We'll just leave it at that. And in order to escape the consequences of these shady dealings, he needs to take his family and relocate them to Lake of the Ozark in, is it Virginia?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
It's not St. Paul, Minnesota.
It's like Utah or some shit.
It's
Utah.
No, it's in the south, but it's not deep south.
It's in the Ozarks.
Right where the Ozarks.
I'll tell you in one second.
Exactly. So nobody knows where the Ozarks are. Anyway, and it's all about them trying to. He needs to try to get them out of a very, very tight spot while he's there, and his kids, do they know about it? Do they not know about it? How is he going to get himself out of a jam? And Bateman never disappoints. He was the highlight of every episode, and every time he's on camera, like, I want to see how the fuck he's going to get out of this mess that he's in. And Laura Linney's got like a B plot as the wife with shit that's going on with her, and she's always good. She's a really good actress, and all the bit players, all the minor characters in the show, they all do a really, really good job for the roles that they have. And if you're looking for something on this is on Netflix, looking for a new show, if you're in between shows, highly recommend Ozark. I did not want to turn it off. I wanted to immediately, once I was done with each episode, go on and watch the next. So that's my review.
Very glad to hear that. And I figured it'd be kind of, I know you're a Bateman fan, so
Oh, yeah.
I figured that'd be kind of up your alley.
Down my laneway. Yeah.
Did you know Laura Linney also has a lot of leading roles in softcore porn movies?
What?
Yes, a lot.
Hold on. So was she Twister or
she's
Jurassic
like an
Park?
Emmy-
Which one was she in?
Neither.
Neither.
Where's she
You
from?
talking about Helen Hunt?
No, Helen Hunt was not in Twister.
Helen Hunt was
Yeah.
absolutely fucking
Okay,
Twister.
but she was not in. She
Says
was
the
not
guy who
Jurassic-
never watches any
She was
movies.
not in Jurassic Park.
No, that was Laura Dern.
Okay, so where is Laura Linney from? Because she's very recognizable.
She's an Emmy award winning actress.
Yeah, okay, I don't
She
need all
might
that.
even be like Academy Award nominated.
What was
I'm
the
not sure
big
if it
like a
will.
big movie she was in?
She does a lot of smaller art films.
I didn't see
don't.
any of those.
I don't know that she'd be in any movies that you'd seen.
She looks very familiar. Maybe it's from porn. I don't know.
Hold on. Are you
Might just
saying
be
you
from-
looked this up, or are you saying I watched a porn and I remember seeing a girl look like her? She looks familiar.
No, I'm saying that she looks very familiar. I thought
So you're saying
was,
she looks familiar,
I thought she was the girl from either Jurassic Park, maybe Twister.
but neither of those are porns.
no, Cory brought up the porn. I'm saying.
Oh, that's right. Corey.
She was in
So-
Sully.
No,
Sully's not a porn.
Never saw that.
So what?
maybe she was a character on like Frasier.
Give
or
me some
something.
porn that she's been in.
She might have been on Frasier or Friends.
I'm
or
sure
Seinfeld.
she's been on Frasier.
Okay, so she was probably one of those things because
She's like a classically trained actress. I mean, I'm really interested to hear what fucking porn she's in.
softcore.
Not because I want to watch it.
She's like the pizza delivery girl that walks away and watches the porn happening.
I mean, I guess
Maybe.
You got to make your living any way you can, I suppose.
Hey, we'll figure it out.
Doesn't TT need to bring up the evidence here?
Oh, Tawas Tortoise.
Wow,
I'm already shortening it.
Oh, TT.
It's already turning right.
I will tell you, she has her own X videos page.
And what's her name?
Laura Linney, 2 N's. One of the biggest ones is Big Tits at Hill Station.
What's the year for that movie?
I don't know. Let me make sure my volume's up here.
Yeah, please do that.
Dude, I'm so afraid to bring this up.
Well, that's fine. We can table it.
She was absolutely a guest on Frasier.
Yeah, that I believe.
Yep.
In a raft of porn films, a little harder to believe. But that's fine.
Let's see here.
That's where I recognize.
She's got range.
Well, she apparently. So Nick, I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you have any further thoughts on Ozark? Did you like it?
So, yeah, Ozark, loved it. I watched, I think, binged 3 or 4 episodes. It was great. I don't know all the big name actors like you do.
There's only 2.
I don't know them, clearly. But, yeah, the male character, this is kind of my first step into the pond of realizing who he is. And, yeah, he did a fantastic job so far. I thought he was I may have seen him in something before and just didn't know it.
Okay.
But, yeah, the way the delivery and the character development, that he's slowly having, I like so far. So
You going to finish it, you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm
I knew
excited to start the second season.
I knew from the beginning that, when I watched one episode, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This is something that on some of these things you just know. Like, it's something different. It's something new. It hasn't been really done before. And that's kind of how I felt about, like, the Breaking Bads and the Lost and things like that. And so I feel like there's going to be big things to come for that.
Yeah, other things you're like, okay, I got to watch 2 hours of this because my gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it in the first episode, so I'm just going to try to slog my fucking way through the second episode.
I literally at one point was like, okay, well, I'll watch one more, and then, that'll be episode 2. And it was like starting episode 4. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a good story.
See, I was the opposite. So by the way, I'm a huge Ozark fan. I actually started watching it, and I watched the first 2 episodes, and I wasn't fully bought in, and I went away. And then my brother-in-law suggested that I look at it because he goes, "It's fantastic." Started from the beginning again, and I felt the same way. And then, kind of after the suicide, like I said, somewhere in the 3rd episode, I was hooked, and I was completely bought in, but I wasn't. Right away. I literally watched a couple episodes, walked away from it, and didn't care.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But now I love it.
Now you love it.
Okay, yeah, well, I was looking for that. So what we're going to do now is hopefully bring in Scotty Moore and see if this even works. Haven't done it from my phone before. I know Cory's done it in the past, but we'll see if it's tapped in.
Okay.
So he can give it.
Who knows this guy?
Scotty Ward.
He's a friend of a friend.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Turn down your radio.
I don't have a radio on. I just have a live feed that I was ready to mute, but I put the button, my remote down, and put it in the wrong spot. But now
You know what excuses are like, don't you, Scott Ward?
We're used to people muting us, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, exactly. So I knew exactly where to go.
Todd Dillon, despite not claiming to not know who Scott Moore is, has some history with him, and that's why the salty language.
Yes, exactly.
So, hey, Scott Moore, how are you?
Great, guys. How are you? How's everybody?
Everybody's good, sir.
Good.
Mighty,
Hey,
dude.
Before I get, I just since Cory made it back to the room, I just wanted to give a personal congratulations to you guys for the nuptial commitments there on the beach. That was pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't looking to put that out to the entire Schnozzcast, but no, I'm just kidding, Scotty. Thank you.
Still running game.
I think you
They only talked about it for the first half an hour of the show.
Oh,
The first
fantastic.
half hour of the show was dedicated to that recap. So.
Yeah, I guess since I didn't tell him anything.
Your shadow looms large over the podcast.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure it was a big topic on the Beach podcast as well.
It was the only topic on the beach
It definitely
podcast.
was.
Yeah.
It was the only one because I actually watched part of it live, and it sounded great after you made those couple adjustments. It was awesome. So I was sitting on the back deck and watching it and listening to it, and it was not great.
That's awesome. Thank you for the feedback, man.
We love you, man.
So,
Yeah.
Scotty.
I don't know who you are, but I love you too, I guess.
Who's this guy who's this random dude that calls in and we love him?
Scotty, you had a movie to watch for Gentleman's Agreement?
I had a series.
Okay.
It was Devs on Hulu from Mr. Dillon.
Yeah.
And it was, to be fair, I did not get to it right away like I'd hoped to, but I got through 4 episodes because the one thing I did like about this was the first episode definitely caught the attention, but made you almost have to watch the next episode. So I was like, okay, now I have to watch the next episode because I don't know what the hell's going on. So in a good way, though, it was like, a little mysterious and the plot was unfolding and all that. So that was good, a good thing that I liked. But, it's hard to describe it without giving too much away. But I can see why Todd likes it because it does deal with a lot of,
sex,
male
nudity.
No,
He would love it.
no, but it covers a lot of high tech computers and coding and programming and computer programming and just stuff that's just so cutting edge and the development and the technology, and it definitely a moral dilemma for sure. And so yeah, I've gotten 4 episodes into it. I'm going to keep watching it just because again, there's a lot of questions that still need to be answered for me, but I would recommend it for sure. And what's his name? Nick Offerman is in it, and I like him as an actor. And it's not a funny movie, so there's no humor. Where obviously the other roles that he has played are funny, where this is way more in a serious tone for him role. And so far he's been pulling it off really well in that series, so that's kept me intrigued as well. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it, and I was glad to that TD recommended it because it was a good one.
Thank you. I don't know that guy, but I like him.
The guy who doesn't know you thanks you.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know him. I don't know this guy, but I'm starting to like him a lot.
I'm starting to like him. Hey, by the end of the phone call, you might just love me like everybody else. So.
Wow, that's a bold statement, sir.
Those are strong words.
I take back my statement as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh man, So Nick, I wanted to real quick just kind of come backwards a little bit so that you knew what I meant by that throttle jockey on the highway deal from the earlier segment was you're driving in the highway and you set your cruise at 82, and then you got the people that keep coming on you and passing you, and then you end up having to pass them because they pass you, and then they drop it down to like 71.
Yeah. Yes.
And then you see that same car for like 3 hours because you end up having to pass them, and then they end up passing you, and it's like, okay, I'm just set the cruise like I am and keep it a constant speed, and we'll all get along just fine.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Something tells me you spent a lot of time on the road, Scott.
Yes,
that's a highway fartlek.
Right, exactly. But that's what I meant by that. They're speeding up, slowing down. The horse gets tired. You gotta kick it into gear. That's what they do. So yeah, that's what I meant by that statement or whatever. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Hey Scott, are we still on track to go see Dead & Company in September?
Oh, for sure, dude. And
sweet.
The buzz that I've talked to about a few people up north is, number one, jealousy, pure jealousy. Number two was that, like, number one, how did you even get the tickets? Because when I went on there, they sold out. And I said, well, we're at our age, we just bucked up and paid a little more money. So
ready to throw it back in their face. Yeah. Good job.
Right, we went that route. So it worked out a little bit better. But yeah, I'm really excited. And obviously it's going to be, hopefully, great time. I'm sure it'll be a great time. And going back, I haven't been to Pine Knob in a long time, and it should be a lot of fun. Yeah,
just so you know, I don't know if you knew this, but that day that the show was on is my son's 20th birthday.
Yes, I did know that because we had to get, when we were planning all that, we had to get birthday party clearance or whatever.
Yeah, you're going to a concert on Jack's 20th?
Yep.
We're taking him. He's going.
Son of a bitch.
No, he's coming with me. I'm taking him with me.
Yeah,
Todd.
Yeah,
to a Dead concert.
That's right.
Yeah.
You cruel son of a bitch. Hey, tell him not to buy mushrooms from a black man. It's a frickin' downer.
Dude, that's like concert 101. I'm not sure I need to tell him that. He should know that. I raised him right.
Don't buy mushrooms from a black man.
Right. I raised him right.
If anything else, though, I'll be there to help reinforce that fact. So, whoa, son.
Yeah, so that's
You walk between us, please.
Okay.
keep
Tickets for
between the wingmen.
kind. Tickets for kind.
One time at a dead show, we had an extra ticket, and this was when they played at the Palace. This was obviously several years ago, and we ended up trading a ticket for some gal that had she says, "Oh, all I got is a veggie sandwich, dude." It was called a veggie sandwich, and it was all in tinfoil, all pre-made. You open it up, and it was all wilted cabbage, and it was
sounds
just
delicious.
So Scotty,
I know.
Scotty, how was that sandwich?
Exactly.
We did not
Pressed
accept it.
between her hairy armpits.
We just gave her the ticket and made her world and whatever. But we were walking in, and it was going to go to waste anyway. And
you didn't even take the sandwich?
Oh, look at that! The cheese is melted.
Come on, Scotty.
My buddy took it. My buddy took it and then opened it up just to see for the obvious curiosity. And we're like, well, we're going into the concert, and we're just going to grab something in there. But you can save it for yourself or somebody else. And we don't want to waste it. So, but here's the ticket anyway. So
Don't let them fool you. They ate the shit out of that sandwich.
Oh, they crushed it.
It's the greatest wilted sandwich I ever had.
Right.
I don't have to spend money on food inside now.
It's like Jesus shit right on my tongue. It was so delicious.
So if you go to enough of those shows, you have a few fun stories to share. But that was one of them.
Yeah.
Traded a concert ticket for a veggie sandwich. So, well, then maybe if we could remember that Pink Floyd 1994 concert we all went to, that was the best concert ever. Still,
that's the best concert in the history of the universe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on.
That was the best concert
history of the world. None better ever.
I have a very hazy memory of that show.
Ever.
I remember every
You
bit
have
of
a
it.
very hazy memory of yesterday. So
Right.
Anyway, Scott Moore, it has been a pleasure. Hey, Scott. Hey, make sure to tell your lovely bride happy birthday.
I will. I appreciate you guys hitting her up on Facebook too. That was really nice. And all you guys.
Absolutely.
And Bob, I would text you and TD too. I'll text you because we're going to possibly go down to Ingles Lake House next weekend. So I'll text you out here.
I heard Brett Ingle was shopping for friends to join him on his lonely trip around the lake in Ann Arbor.
I think
I don't know who that is.
I know. He's a friend of mine.
Scott,
okay.
That's why you don't.
Scott, if you have a second to grab something to do a shot with us, I'll pour one up.
I can.
Yeah.
I haven't. Well, I've been just drinking beer, but I got something I can do a shot with.
Yeah. So if you got to grab it, we can riff for a second.
Nope.
Nope,
I got it.
Oh, he's got it ready to go. Mr. Rankin's gonna pour us a shot. TD, if you could pour something for yourself as well.
Pouring up a shot of 2 bar spirits, straight bourbon whiskey.
And for the folks listening to the audio version of the podcast, remember you can mute us. Come back to us in a minute when you're having your coffee, Gatorade, or high proof alcohol, so you can join us. It's like we're here with you.
Jim Beam Peach is my drink.
Ooh,
I gotta try that.
Can't turn down them peaches. That actually sounds.
I love peach stuff.
That's.
Hold on.
I
fell apart at the end.
Hold on. We're gonna.
I love peach. I love peaches.
Let's play the intro music, and we're gonna start this over again, so you can.
Welcome to Schnozzcast. This is Bob.
I gotta write that down. That's a good song.
I like the peach.
I like peach stuff.
So what we do have is I purchased up north that has become a tradition, whether people like it or not, that we actually did not take advantage of. We only had 2 this time. But
do you still have that?
The moonshine peaches.
You still have them?
We had 2, and
do you still have them?
No, they're in my fridge.
Oh, all right, sweet.
So you liking
That's
peach?
What we're doing.
You liking peach like you're fucking Mario or some shit? Princess Peach.
That was actually
okay.
For Nick, it was solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
You liking that? You would love this.
Okay.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Scott. Cheers, Scott.
Sláinte.
Prost.
Todd, you'll be happy or Scott Moore, you'll be happy / disappointed to know that there's a giant stack of Yinglings sitting right over next to Nick's deep freezer.
Boy, oh boy, oh.
There's a giant stack that were sitting in the cooler that I sorted through. I put about 15 in the fridge, hoping Bob would slowly start chipping away at them, which he's not. He keeps
I've just chipped away at, I think I'm down to 2 left in my fridge at my house.
Oh, so you had some as well.
I had like 12.
I love Yingling, but I never
So do I.
I never touched them because I was like, oh, this is like a special. This is our special beer from our special guest.
Scott Moore brought like 4 cases of Yingling.
I'm not touching it. I know Scotty's coming back.
Because you know why? Because
Yeah,
you're the
you
last
better.
ones left in the warehouse. That shit sucks. You guys are freaking fooling yourselves.
Yeah. Plus, I'm terrified that Scott's going to be like, hey, I'm going to be in town next week for the podcast, and I'm going to be like, I have no Yinglings left. What? He's going to be like, dude, I brought you like a baker's fucking dozen. Gross on top of a fucking
Try
pallet.
3 baker's dozen.
No.
Scott,
I think
I've enjoyed
you're
every single Yingling I've drank, so thank you very much.
I think you're getting it wrong, Nick, because here's the thing. You would have offended Scott, and again, because I still think it's horrible beer, but if he showed up and all but one of the beers that he gave you was still there, that's actually worse.
It is worse.
That's offensive. Well,
Because I still have every bottle of Sam Cherry that anybody's ever given me. I've moved it twice.
I will tell you this.
Trash beer.
Scotty Ward was a very gracious guest. He was a wonderful person. He
set a high bar for guests.
He brought all kinds of gifts. And I'll let you know right now.
Take note,
Corey, before you start finger wagging.
I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to finger wag.
I'm going to let you know right now, Corey, that he was one of the last men standing outside with us. And he had not only. Oh yes,
standing is a general term.
He had his
upright.
He's
propped up by.
He had his wits
several
about.
Chairs.
I'm a pretty good judge of character when it comes to drinking science.
This guy's a pro.
Dude, if you want me to, I'll play the voice. I'll play the voicemail I got from this idiot on the air, and that'll freaking debunk anything you say.
Yeah, you don't know this guy. I thought.
Yeah,
people be giving my phone number out.
But as all the liquid idiots like leaked through the sieve, one of the few solids that were left, I can be happy to say, was Scotty Moore.
Is it me, or did that sound like he was like a shit that didn't make it through like a funnel?
No, it's
it wasn't too complimentary.
Hold on, I'm sorry, but has anyone in this room other than me been panning for gold? Because last I checked, the bullshit falls through and the gold stays on top. And that's what I'm saying about Scotty Moore.
Wow.
I judge a man's character by being able to hang. And Scotty Moore not only drove all over God's creation to get here and had to get up at 6 in the morning, which, Corey, I know the only time you've seen 6 in the morning is the end of your night. But he was able to get here, bring a shit ton of stuff, be one of the last men standing, and then wake up early enough to still drive home, and I give that a lot of credit.
Well, he had 3 months to prepare for it.
Oh, did you say Scotty Moore? I think I know that guy.
Oh, now you have his voicemail.
Exactly.
Scott took it.
With all,
go ahead, Scott.
No, I was going to say, with all transparency, so the next morning, after spending the night on Nick's gracious couch, I had to make a couple stops.
Graciouses.
Yes. Well, at least it wasn't the mattress in the basement, so that was a plus.
Yeah.
I had to hit some sporting stores on a couple of malls on the way out of town, because I live in northern Michigan. I don't make it down that way obviously very often. So
code name strip clubs.
Right. Yeah. So between Livonia and then up to Sterling Heights, I had to make a couple stops. So I at least got to get up and walk off some of the fuzz in the malls before I had to drive, 3.5 hours from Sterling Heights all the way home. So
Scotty, we just call it throwing up the next day. I don't know why you call it fuzz, but
no, it was,
unless law enforcement was on your tail.
I might have felt. I was going to say I might have felt better if that might have happened. But
is Le Chambre before or after Chapeau Vert?
It's before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
They don't pay me. They don't pay me, but I am telling you things.
Right.
If you want to see a pregnant woman on a strip mall,
might have happened. But
is Le Chambre before?
No, but it was a lot of fun. We had a great time, and look forward to doing it again sometime, and for sure.
Yeah, just let me know when you're going to be in town. So I know you're shooting for. Is it next weekend at Ingalls?
Yes, next weekend.
Right.
Yep. I'm Reed and my son and I are coaching a 14-year-old travel baseball team. We got tournaments like the next 3 or 4 weekends in a row. So
what day are you going to be there? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, I believe, Saturday morning, and then Bishop and his girlfriend, I think, are coming down on Sunday.
The Dragon?
To also be at Ingalls?
Yes.
All right, so I need to shoot for Sunday. That way I'll hit you and Bishop and the girlfriend.
Bob, is it necessarily pertinent for the podcast to know when you're going to see Brad Engel?
Yeah, totally pertinent.
Yes, it really is.
It must be.
It definitely is. Hey,
I
just
think
remember,
there's going to be a great story. Sorry to cut you off, Scotty Moore, but there's going to be a great story because everywhere the Green Dragon or Chris Bishop goes, this dude named Doozen shows up and punches him right in the fucking face, and he passes out. It's like a freaking Jackass movie.
It
Everywhere I've been the last 3 times, no shit, this dude out of the blue, not invited, shows up and knocks Chris the Green Dragon the fuck out.
It breaks out into a Bruce Lee movie.
And then I'm like, and then you don't see Doozen. It's like, where did he go? He comes to wherever Chris Bishop is, punches him in the face, and leaves. If Tag is a movie, the fact that Chris Green Dragon Bishop gets his ass kicked at every party by Jay Van Duzen, and we never see him there.
All right, we've officially given way too much airtime to Jay Van Duzen.
Yep.
So
yes, for sure.
All right, Scotty.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love you, buddy.
So how's your
Love
mom
all
and
you guys.
them?
Right.
Oh, shit.
Everybody's good.
Everything's
Mom's
good.
Give her a hug for me.
Yep, everybody's good. Appreciate it.
All right, sir. We love you, man.
All right, talk to you guys. Love you guys too. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Scotty. Yep.
All right,
Take care, buddy.
bye-bye.
Man, I
Ladies
got to
and
meet
gentlemen,
that guy.
Scotty Moore, or Ward,
I got to meet him.
as he's known on the streets.
Yeah, he sounds like a great guy.
As he's known on the streets of North
Hopefully he'll
Michigan.
show up here at the podcast one night.
Yeah.
Well,
It'd
he'll
be great
have
to
some
meet him.
Yinglings, that's for sure.
Have at least another 6 months before that happens.
Okay, so new assignments for next week. Cory, I assume you're not taking one because you still got to watch one.
No. I had to watch 2 when I freaking did my million little things over 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right, here we go. So I have drawn Nick. Todd has drawn me, and Cory has drawn Todd.
Yeah.
Documentary week.
And then Nick has drawn.
Danielle, that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. She's not here, mate.
All right, let's see if I can rework this without any.
Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop.
Okay, so in this example, Danielle is Todd. So okay, I have drawn Nick. Cory has drawn Todd. Todd has me, and Nick has Cory. All right, so is everybody good to think about it? I can go first while you're thinking.
I'm ready whenever.
Okay, Todd, go ahead.
So, Bob, I want to assign you something I just recently saw. I don't know if you've seen it, and it is not the best movie ever made, but I think it's a good movie. I really
Let's
like
find
it.
out
So,
if I've seen it or not. Yeah, what is it?
The Ice Road.
The what?
The Ice Road with Liam Neeson.
Oh, I have seen that.
The Iceman Cometh. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, The Ice Road. With Lawrence Fishburne.
Ice Road Truckers?
Netflix?
No, Netflix.
Netflix? Okay. I got
You
it.
not seen it?
I have not.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, sweet. I got Nick. Nick, have you seen? This is a dumb question, but have you seen Raiders of the Lost Ark
Indiana Jones?
and the Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's an
it's like
Indiana
6.
Jones flick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Running from the Big Ball?
Have you seen it?
I believe so.
He doesn't know.
I
That's
know,
the whole thing. There's like 18 of them,
He's
Bob.
trying to give you pieces of the movie for you to say yes, and he's going to say, oh, yeah, I saw that.
No, I believe I have, but I'd be more than happy to watch it again to fill in the blanks.
Do you remember much about that movie?
No.
Big ball.
How long ago do you think that you saw it?
25 years ago.
So let's do Raiders.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm actually excited to watch it again. Because
You see how horrible it is.
I watched it with a child's
Go
mind.
fuck yourself, Todd Dillon.
okay, Todd, what the fuck did you give me around Christmas? Because I don't know if you should be wagging a finger.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
You'll like Jingle Jangles even better.
It was
Jingle Jangles
yeah.
better than Raiders of the Lost
It was
Ark.
Jingle fucking Jangle.
Had I been
Back to back, by the way, with the previous week was Bad Mom's Christmas. It was not a happy holiday
let me tell
for
you,
Nick Bader.
Let me tell you, had I been close to the coast, I would have walked into the ocean.
Okay. So, Nick, you have Cory.
Yes, I do.
Unless Cory, you're ready for Todd and you want to go first.
I feel like Nick is already ready.
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Cory, you have to watch the next 2 episodes of Lost.
And I already did. I already watched Lost.
You
Ooh,
watched.
we may be in new territory.
We've
here.
talked about this.
Have we?
You said before. You said, you know what? If you can't ever think of something, you can actually make Cory watch the next 2 episodes of Lost or the things that you've told him
Ooh,
before.
I might have.
You many times.
Do not agree with that whatsoever.
Why
Yeah.
not? So first of all, let's just backtrack for a second. You did watch Lost before. How many episodes did you actually watch?
He got 2.
Two?
Yeah, he got 2. And you and I had both talked about it, and we're like, you. Probably,
I was not part of this conversation.
No, but he said.
Well, you are now. But.
You've said many times. You're like, you're probably not going to grasp the whole idea of Lost. And do you understand that they're hour episodes?
Yeah.
And he's only going to watch 2. And for another pick, you could always give him 2 more episodes.
No, that does not seem right.
I remember saying that.
Yeah. Why would that be a problem?
It's not a problem. So here are my thoughts on this, and I'm happy to listen to Cory's thoughts. Cory's thoughts on this, and we put it to vote with Todd as well.
Yep.
My thought is, having watched Lost all 6 seasons, I would say you've already watched your Gentleman Screaming. You watched the first 2 episodes. That's 2 hours. It's really all you needed to watch. You could have watched more, but minimum you didn't watch the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think with something like Lost, here's what I'd like to propose. If we have a show, right? Because you can only really do this with a show. You can't do it with a movie. If we have a show that you assign to someone and you really think that they would like it, but Lost is a great example of one of those shows where there's a lot of shit going on and it's an unfolding mystery box that happens over time. I think a good rule, a good new rule for the podcast might be if someone has been assigned, like Cory's been assigned Lost once already, and he fulfilled it. I think the most, I think that it's okay that if you assign him 2 more episodes, but that after that,
beyond that, it's not allowed.
After that, it's not allowed.
I agree with
Either
that.
Cory's going to be a fan or he's not, and that's it. So you can only be assigned a maximum of 4 hours of a show. I think that's
exactly what was wrong.
I think it's a good rule.
Because I'm not trying to be vindictive.
There are some shows
like
Breaking Bad and Lost and
you have to
X-Files
watch more than 2 episodes.
Yeah, the first 2 hours aren't really gonna. The true fans of the show might say like, man, if you'd only watched the next 2 hours, I really feel like I might have hooked you. But that should go along with the caveat that after that, like you can't assign him anymore.
I think that's fair.
He could officially declare that he's done with Lost forever after this, and none of us can ever suggest that he watched again.
It's fair. I still disagree with it, but it is fair. So
I feel that's fair. I mean, I would never say like, oh, 2 more again. Like that's not fair. If you haven't after the next 2 episodes, I mean, shit. After the next episode in 15 minutes, if you're like, no,
I'm saying that
done.
Having been assigned The Ritual, Altered Carbon, Vikings, Eastbound and Down, The Good Doctor, all those things where I only watched the first 2 hours of that series. You guys are free. I'm saying this with. And again, Cory, I understand where you're coming from. Like you weren't a super fan of the first 2 episodes, but I'm saying this in all fairness, going like I realize that by saying this, I could be assigned the next 2 hours of all of this other shit that I may not have liked. But I'm willing to. I think it's fair. I'm willing to put myself in your position.
I'm not saying it's not fair. Like I said, do I agree with it? No, I still think the premise is it should always be something new. But it is fair. So in that aspect,
I think it's a good ground rule for the show to say, 4 hours is the limit. Like you cannot no longer be assigned Lost after this.
Do you agree that there may be a series that it took you a while to get into? Or you've known immediately all the time?
Usually second episode.
And by the way, the last time you were assigned Lost hold on, Todd. You were assigned Lost in over a year ago. It was May of 2020.
Okay.
So a lot of time has passed. You may not remember what happened in those episodes. Nor would you care. But when you start episode 3, you're going to get the recap of the previous episodes, so you'll be able to drop right in. I think it's a fair, and I'm willing to subject myself to the same scrutiny for anything else that I've been assigned that I may not have liked at all. But if someone wanted to assign to me, I'd be like, okay, then that's it.
I mean, Cory, for God's sakes, I watched Lady Gaga documentary from you.
Yeah, but it's something you haven't seen yet.
No,
So-
I know, but
Hold on.
it's
Not really the same.
Yeah, we're
thing.
we're kind of fucking steamrolling over everything. There's a fourth member of the cast. Todd, go ahead, buddy.
I am the new guy, and I'm siding with Cory in that. Here's the thing: for the most part, if in 2 episodes of a season, I know that I don't like it. Even though sometimes it doesn't pick up. Like again, I didn't. But here's why I say that I have a different alternate idea along with this. But like last Ted Lasso, I didn't love it in the first 2 episodes, but I watched that third, and then they got better and they got better. So I think in one vein it is good, but to potentially look a bit more. But if I hate something, like absolutely hate it in the first 2 episodes, there's no way they can bring me back. And like the movie that Danielle assigned me, and this isn't a knock on her because I know I beat her up about who killed Sarah. But no, I'm like, I know. And by the way, I did watch 4 episodes, and it still sucked. So I'm like, I knew right out of the gate it was going to be horrible. Why don't it to be? You know, I'm not going to say the word. I'm not going to string it together to get the button push.
To be clear,
yeah, I agree with Cory. It shouldn't be a mandate, but if we want to make it sporting, why don't we say if somebody asks you to watch episodes 3 and 4 or some other episodes of a thing that you didn't like the first time, why don't you then flip a coin and leave it to chance? Because why punish a guy? Usually, like I said, if I'm on the fence, yes, I do it. But if I'm not going to ever like Who Killed Sarah, and you should all watch it because it's horrible.
But the idea is we're all holding everybody at their word, right? For not doing this maliciously. Like Nick is recommending it for Cory, not because he's like, I know you hated the first 2, so take that. You got another 2. It's like, I don't think.
But if you hate, that's what I'm saying. If you typically, like I said, if in my mind, and I don't want to speak for him, if I watched the show and I was like, I'm on the fence, I'd be more happy with it. But like I said, with the movies that I don't like, it's just punishment to watch 2 more. I've already gone in with my mind made up. I'm like, if you're on the fence, sign me 2 more. I'm like I said, Ted Lasso. If I just watched the minimum, I'm like, I don't know, Bob. I might or might not get to it. But I happen to like it enough to say, hey, I'll take it for a little bit more of a ride. Even though if you watch that show, they didn't hit their stride till episode 4 or 5, and then it was awesome.
Yeah, and that's the use case that I'm looking at. Going like, there's a chance where this might actually be not a bad thing. Are you still Bluetooth connected to the phone, to the mixer?
I can be.
Why don't you go ahead and connect, and let's get Ms. Danielle and the Finn on the phone, because we're not going to solve this with 4 guys. We need a 5th tiebreaker vote.
Is she available?
Excuse me. I wish she's on her way home. She might pick up.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Let's try it.
So we'll ask Danielle, and I'd even be open to saying, you know, I'm not guaranteeing anything that Cory's going to love it, but to
of course not
echo the sentiment of Todd and follow the rules of, he's saying if someone hates something. I specifically remember Cory saying, I did not hate it. Did not hate it.
Okay.
I just
didn't like it.
I hope that there aren't any dinosaurs, is what he said.
Yeah.
I feel like they saw something in the woods, and if there's dinosaurs, you're going to completely fucking lose me.
You know what? Lost is a great example of. I couldn't think of a better example for what we're trying to do here and what we're discussing, because Lost is a. There's so many different main characters, all of which get like at least 1 hour of network TV devoted to them in the first season to explain their backstory, where there's something for everybody. And that's why the show had a lot of big appeal. And so I feel
my counterpoint to that, Bob, and again, hopefully I'm stepping in. My counterpoint is, I really like Breeders, the show I assigned Danielle.
Yeah.
Really, really like it. And I think that most people would. But the thing that put her off was it's British accents. And so you got to pay hardcore attention and be willing to rewind. And if it didn't grab her in the first 2 episodes, she's never going to be grabbed. And so my take is, if I assign it to her again, because I didn't assign it to her because I think it's horrible. And really, I think anybody who likes abject humor, it's funny as shit. You can't deny it. But if you can't understand it, you're not willing to put in the time to understand it. Even like Letterkenny. People hate Letterkenny because they got to rewind it sometimes, even though it's brilliant.
Yep. But we have to remember, too, that some folks like Nick don't have a deep reserve of shit to assign to people. And And I believe that he's not assigning it. He may be assigning it because he doesn't have a lot of other shit to assign to Cory, but I think he genuinely believes that, like, hey, if you give another couple episodes, there's a chance you might like it.
I'm with you. Like I said, I think Breeders is brilliant, and I would assign it. Again because I think if you watched enough of it and you get picked up on the way they speak, you would love it. Everybody would, because it's funny shit about what parents think. The funnier thing is when the two lovebirds are having babies years from now, it'll probably relate to it because it's the same stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna die on this hill. Sorry.
I would.
I
would. My thought process is only this. Yeah, I don't have a big discography of film, if anything, that I can assign, and I get that. But the few things that I like. That being said, I know a lot of people that like Lost. I really like Lost. And each episode is so different that I don't really feel like you can get invested in the first 2 episodes, because I know personally I didn't. It took me a while to get to episode 3. But when I watched 3 and 4 is when I finally started watching it. There's a good chance Cory will still not like it. And I have a sneaking suspicion, knowing his personality, that even if he somewhat liked it, he still would not like it. But yeah, I think that after that, I would never torture anyone and say, well, too bad, you're going to keep watching more and more episodes. But I would rather the heart of Gentleman's Agreement should be something you think someone should watch and that they may like. And I would rather do that than reach down deep into my archive that's not very big and pull out a shit movie and be like, well, I haven't assigned this, but you can have it.
Yeah, I think I'm on your side, and I feel like if took a vote, which generally we should, that's a democratic.
It's going to be 2-2.
It's going to be 2-2. So why don't we do, Cory? You still have an assignment to give to Todd, right?
Yes.
Why don't we do that while Nick, if you could attempt to connect to the mixer and see if we can get Danielle Finn on the phone.
Okay,
Todd. Have you seen Tom Segura Ball Hog? Todd.
Todd, did we lose you? Todd, if you're talking, we can't.
Oh yeah, I muted it because I had to burp. I said,
there we go.
I put on my burp filter and forgot to turn it off.
Todd,
yes.
Stop for a second. Okay, go.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, there you go. Tom Segura Ball Hog on Netflix.
Perfect. I put on my burp filter. Sorry, guys.
All right, guys. That's so we got all the picks done for this week. I appreciate it. I think there was some good. You know what? It went on for a long time, but that's legitimately a question that's never come up before, and I think it's a good example of why it's not necessarily such a cut and dried issue. And I'm willing to subject myself to the same scrutiny, the same assignment.
Well, I mean, I would hope so, obviously, but
yeah, because I'd be kind of a hypocrite. I'm like, oh, we could do it for Cory, but not for me. Like that can't happen.
Well, yeah, of course, but I just don't want to see that being a fallback for how Gentleman's Agreement goes.
And I still believe in the spirit of it, which is things that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
So I'll always, but you and I have and that's a thing where I'm like, let's give the guy a break, and I'm willing to make that a rule because you and I have a deep well to. I've literally got.
Yeah, he doesn't have a big library. I get
24 movies on my to-do list for Nick. Nick doesn't have a list. He doesn't.
Yeah, I get it.
And I feel like Danielle probably doesn't either.
Well, I think
more expensive than Nick.
Well, yeah. I think actually, and again, especially since I love the title of this segment. It's called Gentleman's Agreement. Maybe as a rule, if there's a movie you haven't seen or a series you haven't seen, but you truly think you would love it, again, if you have a short list, at the end of the day, Bob, you have the deep, to my knowledge, of all of us, you have the deepest set of watching volume, right? I've been to dozens of movies with you, and you still are able to easily assign me things I've never seen. So I think none of us are your peer, and so I think at the end of the day, being pure, I would never assign a movie. Because at the end of the day, I'm never ever going to assign Breeders to Danielle again. Maybe when I'm there this summer over 7 beers, I'll be like, you got to watch the second 2. But I think maybe to ease it up a little bit, I agree. If Nick hasn't seen that many films, but there's something he really thinks he'd like, why wouldn't it be fair for him to sign it? I mean, I would never, you know what I mean? It's the gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. Yeah, but this back and forth, this interplay, this agreement, quote unquote agreement, is exactly what we should be doing. So I'm happy with all of it. Were you ever able to get Danielle on the phone? Nick? No? Okay. All right. Well, I think between the four of us, I think we've relented to say that, and maybe next week we'll get her input, but I think we're good going forward. So,
well, I'm going to leave it up to Cory. Are you okay with it, or you want me to pick something else?
Flip coin.
No, we can leave it at that.
Todd. Shut up, Todd.
Like I said, it's fair, but it's as I told Bob. I don't know if you heard me. I don't want that to be a fallback.
No. It won't be. Has it ever happened before? No.
No.
It's like almost 2 years.
Time.
2 years, yeah. So it won't be. But this is something I feel slightly strongly about, and if you hate it, you hate it. Bob was the same way. I mean, Amy had parties at her house. Lost parties.
Wait. I got better thing. I think it's fair. I love it. I'm actually coming on to Bob and Nick's side, but if Cory hates it, he gets to Rochambeau you.
Well, all right, Todd.
I don't know what that means.
Now you're talking my.
It's good that you
speed.
don't. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Just agree to it, buddy.
No.
All right, that is the podcast for the week. Thank you for joining us. Please tune in next weekend and for episode 132. So on behalf of Schnozzcast, this is Bob and Nick and Cory and Todd saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves.